So the third and final dish that I'll be demonstrating tonight is rice pudding. And rice pudding is one of my favourite, winter comfort food desserts. And I'm always looking for different rice pudding recipes because it's homely, it's comforting, it's nourishing, but again, it's a little bit posh, and it's all about rice. And and rice can be from this very simple, again, humble ingredient. You can do remarkable things with it. First of all, it's just going to bring a little pot of water to the boil and going to blanch the rice. Now you have to use short grain rice to make a really good rice pudding, and unfortunately short grain rice is not that easy to find these days. So the reason we use a short grain rice is that it absorbs that liquid a whole lot easier than a longer grain rice does, right? Longer grain rice tends to repel the liquid. Short grain rice plumps up, absorbs the liquid, becomes yummy and juicy. Right, well, rice works on so many different levels when we're cooking. And so, the first dish we're using rice as a garnish. Then we're doing that middle course, that savoury course, where it's it's filling and it's big and and it's comforting. And then the rice for dessert, has got this touch of elegance to it as well. And I think one of the things I love about cooking is that you can provide, you can do amazing things with very humble ingredients. What we do by blanching it first is we wash off some of that starch that's on the outside. Because that starch that comes from rice that helps thicken sauces or soups or rice dishes. We want to get rid of that, so we're going to blanch that away so we just get basically the nut or the kernel of the rice left behind. While that's doing that, we'll just do that. We're going to scald some milk. And scalding means basically exactly that. Just bring it up. You don't want to boil it, you just want to get it to. And we're going to add to that some sugar, the zest of an orange and a lemon, and this is kind of the fun part. I mean, this is why I think this is currently my favourite rice dish, because it's the citrus that adds this beautiful, again, it's almost feminine fragrance and a real, just a lovely lift to it. I'm just looking for things to say while I grate a lemon. Try and get everything up off the board, because all those oils that are in there, that were in the skin, would have come out as well, so it'll be nice and wet on the board. Get those in there, you want them, right? The water's coming up to the boil, and goes the rice. And there, right, another thing is just going to add a vanilla pod. Vanilla pod can go straight in there. You don't need to scrape the seeds out or any of that sort of nonsense. You can just drop it straight in. And this won't take long to do. You just want to give it a couple of minutes in there. But you see how the water's starting to turn a little bit cloudy, a little bit milky in there? I kind of just set it up there. And so what we're trying to do is just trying to set the rice. And the same way that we're making rice risotto, we saute the rice off with the onions, the butter and the olive oil to get those fragrances coming out. We're doing exactly the same thing here, but we're doing it in the water, right? Which I know that seems a bit weird, but that's what we're doing. Right, it doesn't take long, we'll just get that through there. Okay, scald that, lid on the top of that, give it 50 minutes, cook it through, it's going to thicken up, and it's going to start looking like what I have got in this pot here, right? And it's just going to simmer down. Now, if it has absorbed all the liquid by the time 50 minutes is up, just let it keep going for a little bit longer, don't panic. But what you can do while the rice is cooking is you can poach the tamarillos. Now, tamarillos are a fruit I love. They're a classic winter fruit that are really cheap right now, not like cherries that I saw at the supermarket the other day. Slice across the bottom, plunge them into boiling water as you would for a tomato, lift them out, peel the skin off, and then I poach them in this really simple syrup, which has just got cloves, cinnamon, etc. through there, right? You can add anything you really want to, but look at that beautiful colour. I mean, how pretty is that? Would you not want to eat that? They're gorgeous, aren't they? They're so fantastic. They cook so quickly and easily. So when you absorb that milk and it's looking lovely like this is now, you would add an egg yolk to it. We've already done that here. You add an egg yolk to it and just a little bit of butter. And I will add the butter actually. And that seems really weird to do at this stage. A little bit of unsalted butter, because it just adds just a degree of decadence to this. And the egg yolk, which seems really weird in the recipe to add an egg yolk at the end, just gives this whole thing a real richness to it, that you just kind of know you're eating something really good that someone's really thought about. And all I'm going to do for the top of this is just a little bit of that poaching syrup from the tamarillo and just some really good quality marmalade just to go on the top. And all that's going to do really is just, the marmalade is just going to pick up that citrus flavour that's through the rice pudding. It's just another way of highlighting that's in there. And you just want to loosen it up. I mean, it's easier if you use the warm syrup from the tamarillos. Really simple. So I'm going to serve this hot. I love it. Cut back on the sugar if you think it's too much. Drop it in there. This is just the stuff of really good memories. Kids will love it. Adults will thank you for it when you serve it to them. It's nostalgic. This on the top. There, and the tamarillo. Oh, see, another little magic moment. Beautiful. What I love about this recipe for this rice pudding, there's a touch of citrus in there with lemon zest and some orange zest, and there's a little egg yolk in there, and it's got this marmalade in there as well that just sort of backs up that citrus punch that's there. We're going to serve it with poached tamarillos, but you can serve it with any poached fruit. You can serve this in summer with poached plums or poached peaches or poached nectarines. You can serve it hot, you can serve it cold. So there's a lot going for this recipe, really. And this is, right now, rice puddings, this is my favourite. That's it. That's me. I'm Martin Bosley. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks very much for making it a great night. Yeah, I love that saying, never trust a skinny chef, because clearly I'm not one. So it kind of goes in my favour. That one, and I look at the skinny chefs around and go, you're a poor excuse. Man up.
From High 5 Productions.